The ultimatum, the judgment hall. The Galactic Tribunal stood as a monument to ancient power, carved from a single asteroid and hollowed over millennia. Its walls glowed with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed in rhythm with the collective thoughts of its occupants. Captain Maya Rodriguez walked through the entrance corridor, her boots echoing against polished stone that had witnessed the judgment of 1,000 species. She wore the midnight blue uniform of Earth's Stellar Defense Force, crisp and formal with silver insignia marking her rank. At 42 years old, Maya had seen combat in the Outer Rim disputes and negotiated mining rights with 3 different alien civilizations. Nothing in her experience prepared her for this moment. The corridor opened into a vast amphitheater. Thousands of beings filled the tiered seating that rose in concentric circles toward a domed ceiling, lost in shadows. Maya recognized perhaps 24 species from her diplomatic briefings. The rest were complete mysteries. Some resembled crystalline formations that hummed with inner light. Others were clouds of gas contained in force fields. A few looked almost human, close enough to trigger an uncomfortable sense of kinship, yet alien enough to remind her how far from home she truly stood. At the center of the amphitheater, a circular platform waited. Maya stepped onto it, feeling the material shift beneath her feet. Adjusting to her weight and biology, scanning systems analyzed her, reading everything from her heart rate to her genetic code. She kept her expression neutral, though her pulse quickened. Above her, a voice spoke without sound, transmitted directly into her consciousness through technology she barely understood. The charges against humanity. The speaker was called the Arbiter, a being of pure consciousness that existed within a lattice of quantum processors. It had no body, no face, only presence. Its voice carried the weight of millennia. Captain Maya Rodriguez of Earth, you stand before the Galactic Tribunal to answer for the actions of your species. Humanity has been observed for 73 of your years, since achieving faster-than-light capability. In this time, your behavior has caused great concern among the elder races. Maya said nothing. Her orders were clear. Listen first. Understand the accusation before mounting any defense. A new presence made itself known. From the lower tiers, a figure descended on an anti-gravity platform. This creature was physical, solid, and radiating hostility. Lord Cravash of the Zenithar Empire stood 12 feet tall, his body covered in segmented armor that seemed to be part biology and part technology. 6 eyes arranged in 2 rows studied Maya with undisguised contempt. His species had ruled 47 star systems for over 10,000 years. Humanity is a plague, Cravash announced, his voice a rumbling bass that resonated through the chamber. In less than a single lifetime, they have spread to 32 systems. They build military installations on every world they touch. Their population grows without restraint. Their technology advances at a rate that defies natural progression. They are aggressive, territorial, and refuse to acknowledge the authority of races far superior to themselves. Maya felt anger rising, but pushed it down. She had reviewed the intelligence reports during her 3-week journey to this place. The Zenithar Empire had been expanding toward human space for decades. Their own colonies pressed against the borders of Earth's outer settlements. This tribunal was not about justice. It was about control. The evidence of human aggression. Cravash continued his presentation, and holographic displays materialized around Maya. They showed human colonies, orbital stations, and defensive platforms. They showed the steady growth of Earth's fleet from the original exploration vessels to the current armada of 800 warships. They showed industrial output, population statistics, and resource extraction rates. All of it was accurate. None of it was secret. Humanity had reported everything through proper channels, following every protocol established by the tribunal. Look at their weapons development. Cravash gestured toward one display. Railguns, plasma cannons, nuclear warheads. They have even begun experimenting with quantum disruption technology. This is a species barely 1 century removed from global warfare. They nearly destroyed themselves with atomic weapons, yet now they build arsenals that could threaten entire star systems. Other voices joined the accusation. A crystalline entity called the Luminar Collective spoke with chiming tones. Humans display pack-bonding behavior that extends beyond their own species. They form emotional attachments to artificial intelligences, to alien life forms, even to their machines. This makes them unpredictable and dangerous. A gaseous being known only as the Whisperer added its concerns. They refuse to accept their place in the natural order. Every other species recognizes the hierarchy of the galaxy. The elder races guide. The younger races follow. Humans question everything. They demand equality when they have earned nothing. Maya listened to it all. Every accusation, every fear, every thinly veiled threat. She understood now what this really was. The elder races had grown comfortable in their power. They had established systems of control that kept younger species dependent and weak. Humanity had broken the pattern. In 73 years, humans had achieved what most species took centuries to accomplish. Not through conquest, but through innovation, cooperation, and sheer stubborn determination. The verdict. The Arbiter's presence filled the chamber once more. The tribunal has deliberated. Humanity's expansion must be contained. Captain Rodriguez, you will return to Earth with our terms. All human colonies beyond 10 light-years from your home system will be abandoned. Your military fleet will be reduced to no more than 100 vessels. All weapons research will cease immediately. The Zenithar Empire will oversee compliance by establishing monitoring stations within your territory. These terms are not negotiable. They are designed for the protection of galactic stability and the safety of all species. Maya took a slow breath. She thought of Earth, that blue marble where she had been born in a small town in New Mexico. She thought of the colonies where millions of humans now lived. Mars with its terraformed valleys, Titan with its methane seas converted to habitable domes, Proxima with its forests grown from Earth seeds, New Hong Kong orbiting a gas giant 40 light-years from home. All of it built with human sweat and sacrifice. All of it about to be taken away by beings who saw humanity as nothing more than upstart children needing discipline. You have 30 days to respond, the Arbiter stated. The tribunal expects full compliance. Failure to accept these terms will result in corrective action. For your own sake and the sake of galactic peace, choose wisely. Maya's response. The platform beneath Maya's feet began to lower, signaling the end of the session. This was the moment when most species bowed their heads and accepted their fate. This was when the weight of ancient power crushed any thought of resistance. Maya Rodriguez did not bow. Instead, she spoke, her voice clear and strong, amplified by the same systems that had carried the Arbiter's words. I have heard your accusations and your terms. I will deliver them to Earth's government. But I need you to understand something about humanity before I leave. The platform stopped descending. Silence fell across the amphitheater. No one interrupted a tribunal judgment. It simply was not done. Maya continued anyway. You call us aggressive because we defend ourselves. You call us territorial because we protect our homes. You say we grow too fast, build too much, arm ourselves too heavily. Do you know why? Because the galaxy is not empty. It is full of species like you, ancient and powerful, who see younger races as resources to be managed or threats to be eliminated. Crevash's 6 eyes narrowed. You dare speak to this tribunal with such disrespect? You prove our point, human. Your species lacks the wisdom to know its place. Maya ignored him, her focus on the Arbiter and the thousands of beings watching from the shadows. Since we reached the stars, we have encountered 47 different species. Of those, 32 have tried to cheat us in trade agreements. 18 have claimed our colonies as their own, citing ancient territorial rights. 7 have attacked our vessels without provocation. And your tribunal has done nothing. You maintain order only when it serves the elder races. The chamber erupted with sound. Voices in a dozen languages protested her words. The Arbiter's presence pressed down like a physical weight. Enough. You will return to Earth. You will deliver our terms. This audience is concluded. The warning Maya felt the platform resume its descent, but she raised her voice one final time. We will respond to your ultimatum in 30 days. But understand this. Humanity did not claw its way up from caves, survive ice ages, plagues, and world wars just to bow before another empire. We came to the stars hoping to find friends. We found masters instead. If you force us to choose between submission and survival, we will choose survival. Every single time. The platform carried her down into the exit corridor. Behind her, the chamber buzzed with agitation. Crevash's voice boomed above the rest. You see, they threaten us even now. The tribunal must act decisively. Humanity must be brought to heel before they become a true danger. Maya walked the long corridor back to her ship. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear but from the adrenaline of what she had just done. She had delivered Earth's message, though not the one the tribunal expected. Now everything depended on whether humanity's preparations were sufficient for what was coming. Earth's preparation. The journey home took 3 weeks through approved transit lanes. Maya spent the time reviewing tactical data and composing her official report. By the time her ship entered Earth's orbit, every government on the planet knew what had transpired. The United Earth Council met in Geneva, in chambers built deep underground during humanity's last global conflict. President Marcus Chen sat at the head of the table, his weathered face grave. Beside him sat Fleet Admiral Sarah Okonkwo, Director of Intelligence James Park, and Foreign Minister Dr. Amelia Santos. Maya stood before them and delivered her full report, sparing no detail. When she finished, Admiral Okonkwo spoke first. 30 days. That gives us barely enough time. Time for what? Minister Santos asked. The Admiral smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. Time to show them what humans do best. We adapt, we innovate. And when someone tries to put us in a cage, we break the bars. President Chen looked around the table. We knew this was a possibility. Project Prometheus has been running for 5 years now. Admiral, what is our status? Admiral Okonkwo pulled up holographic displays showing ship movements, resource allocations, and defensive positions. We have 800 ships on the official registry. The tribunal knows about those. What they don't know is that we have another 1,200 vessels under construction in the asteroid belt and the Oort cloud. Hidden shipyards that have been operating in complete communications blackout. Director Park added his intelligence assessment. The Zenithar Empire is mobilizing a fleet of approximately 500 ships. They will target our outer colonies first, probably Proxima or New Hong Kong. They expect minimal resistance. They have been fighting the same way for 10,000 years. They do not innovate. They do not adapt. They will bring overwhelming force to a conventional battle. And we will not give them a conventional battle, Admiral Okonkwo finished. We will give them something they have never encountered before, humans fighting for survival. The decision President Chen stood and walked to the window overlooking Geneva. Outside, life continued as normal. People went to work. Children played in parks. The world turned beneath a blue sky. All of it peaceful because humanity had finally unified after centuries of conflict. Now that unity would be tested against threats from beyond the stars. What are our chances, Admiral? Chen asked quietly. In a straight fight, fleet against fleet, we lose, Okonkwo admitted. They have numbers, experience, and technology refined over millennia, but we are not going to fight straight. We are going to fight dirty. We are going to use every advantage we have. And our biggest advantage is that they think they understand us. They think we are just another primitive species to be controlled. They have no idea what humans are truly capable of when we stop holding back. The president turned back to face his advisors. Then we refuse their terms. We defend our colonies, we protect our people, and we show the galaxy that humanity will not be subjugated. Send the message to the tribunal. Earth rejects the ultimatum. Maya felt a mixture of pride and fear. This was the moment that would define humanity's future among the stars. Either they would break free from the control of ancient empires, or they would be crushed beneath the weight of civilizations millions of years old. There was no middle ground anymore. The message, the response to the Galactic Tribunal, was brief and direct. Earth acknowledges receipt of the tribunal's terms. After careful consideration, the United Earth Council rejects these terms in their entirety. Humanity will not abandon its colonies. Humanity will not disarm. Humanity will not submit to foreign oversight. We seek peace, but we will not sacrifice our freedom for it. If the tribunal wishes to resolve this matter diplomatically, we welcome further negotiations as equals. If the tribunal chooses force, we will defend ourselves with every resource at our disposal. The message was sent through official channels, encoded and transmitted across the faster-than-light communication network that connected the galaxy. It reached the tribunal within hours. The response was predictable. Lord Cravash of the Zenithar Empire wasted no time. His fleet, 500 warships strong, departed for human space immediately. The target was Proxima Colony, humanity's largest settlement outside the Sol system. 2 million humans lived there, farming and mining and building a new world. Cravash intended to make an example of them. A demonstration of what happened to species that defied the natural order. What Cravash did not know was that Proxima was not defenseless. What Cravash did not understand was that humans had been preparing for this moment since the day they first encountered hostile alien life. What Cravash would soon discover was that cornered humans were the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. The Zenithar fleet traveled for 6 days, confident in their superiority. Behind them, The tribunal watched through long-range sensors, expecting a quick victory that would settle the question of human independence permanently. Aboard the flagship Eternal Dominion, Lord Cravash studied tactical displays showing Proxima Colony. Intelligence reported minimal defensive installations. A few orbital platforms, perhaps 20 human warships. Nothing that could stand against his fleet. He would accept their surrender, relocate the population, and claim the world for the Zenithar Empire. It would be over within hours. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the EDS Defiance, one of 20 ships holding position near Proxima. She watched the approaching Zenithar fleet on her own displays. Beside her, her tactical officer reported enemy numbers and projected arrival time. Maya took a breath and opened fleet-wide communications. All ships, this is Defiance Actual. Remember your training. Remember what we fight for. Not for glory, not for conquest, for survival. For our families, for our future. The enemy thinks we are weak. Let's show them what humans do to those who threaten our homes. Across 20 ships, thousands of human crew members prepared for battle. In hidden positions throughout the Proxima system, automated defense platforms powered up. In underground bunkers, civilians sheltered in place, trusting in their defenders. And in the darkness beyond Proxima's orbit, where the Zenithar sensors could not detect them, 300 human warships waited in perfect silence. The trap was set. The Zenithar Empire was about to learn a lesson that would echo across the galaxy. Humanity did not fight fair. Humanity fought to win. The Reckoning, the Zenithar Advanced Lord Cravash stood in the command center of the Eternal Dominion, his 6 eyes focused on the tactical displays surrounding him. The holographic projections showed his fleet in perfect formation, 500 warships moving through space like a school of predatory fish. Each vessel was a masterpiece of Zenithar engineering, built over decades and crewed by warriors trained from birth. The smallest ship in his fleet massed 3 times more than the largest human vessel on record. His flagship alone carried enough firepower to crack a planet's crust. The journey from Tribunal Space to Proxima had taken 6 days. 6 days of reviewing intelligence reports, studying human tactics, and planning the occupation. Cravash found the entire exercise almost boring. Humans had been fighting in space for less than a century. The Zenithar Empire had perfected space warfare over 10 millennia. This would not be a battle. It would be an education. Subcommander Thrace, a younger Zenithar with 4 eyes instead of 6 due to his lower rank, approached with the latest sensor data. My lord, we are 2 hours from Proxima orbit. Long-range scans confirm 20 human vessels in defensive positions around the planet. Multiple orbital platforms detected. Ground installations minimal. Cravash made a dismissive gesture with one of his forearms. 20 ships against 500. They will surrender before we fire a single shot. Prepare boarding parties. We will occupy their vessels intact and study their technology. Primitive as it is, there may be something of interest. Thrace hesitated. My lord, if I may. The human response to the tribunal was unusually defiant. Perhaps we should approach with more caution. They may have prepared defensive measures we have not anticipated. Cravash turned all 6 eyes on his subordinate. The Zenithar had been conquering younger species for thousands of years. Never had they encountered a race barely a century into space travel that posed any real threat. Caution is for those who face equals, Sub-Commander. These humans are insects. We are exterminating an infestation, nothing more. Now return to your station and prepare for orbital insertion. Human Defense Captain Maya Rodriguez watched the Zenithar fleet approach on her tactical display. The enemy ships moved in a standard formation that had probably worked for them countless times before. A vanguard of heavy cruisers followed by the main battle group, with support vessels bringing up the rear. Textbook strategy. Overwhelming force applied directly to the point of resistance. It would have worked against any conventional defense. Maya smiled grimly. Humanity had stopped fighting conventionally the moment they realized the galaxy was hostile. All ships stand by, she transmitted on encrypted channels. Wait for the signal. Do not break silence until I give the word. Around Proxima, the 20 visible human ships held their positions. They were older vessels, mostly frigates and light cruisers from the early days of Earth's expansion. Good ships with good crews, but hopelessly outgunned by the approaching Zenithar armada. That was the point. They were bait. The real defense lay hidden in the darkness beyond the Zenithar sensor range. On the bridge of the Defiance, Maya's tactical officer, Lieutenant Commander Jackson, reported incoming communication. "Captain, the Zenithar are hailing us. Audio only." Maya nodded. "Put it through." Lord Kravash's voice filled the bridge. Translated by the Universal Communication Protocols. "Human vessels, this is Lord Kravash of the Zenithar Empire. You are ordered to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Proxima Colony is now under Zenithar authority by order of the Galactic Tribunal. Surrender immediately and your people will not be harmed. Resist and you will be destroyed." Maya activated her own transmitter. "Lord Kravash, this is Captain Maya Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Ship Defiance. Proxima Colony is sovereign human territory. Your presence here is an act of war. Withdraw your fleet immediately or face the consequences." There was a pause, then Kravash's laughter echoed through the channel. "Consequences? You have 20 ships, human. I have 500. Your colony has 2 million civilians with nowhere to run. You cannot win this battle. I offer you one final chance. Surrender now or watch your people die." Maya looked around her bridge. Every officer met her gaze with determination. They knew what was coming. They had trained for this moment. "We have already won, Lord Kravash. You just do not know it yet." She cut the transmission and spoke to her crew. "All stations, battle stations, activate the Prometheus protocol. The trap springs. The Zenithar fleet entered Proxima's orbit exactly according to plan." Kravash's plan. The Vanguard moved to surround the 20 human ships while the main fleet positioned itself over the colony's major population centers. It was a textbook occupation formation, and it was exactly where the humans wanted them. Maya watched the Zenithar ships settle into position. They were clustered now, relying on their numerical superiority and heavy armor. Perfect. She opened fleet-wide channels. "All units execute Prometheus. Show them what humans built in the shadows." Throughout the Proxima system, 300 warships dropped their stealth fields. They had been hiding in the asteroid belt, behind the system's moons in the shadow of the gas giant. Advanced cloaking technology that humanity had developed in secret. Technology the Tribunal had no idea existed. 300 ships that appeared on every Zenithar sensor simultaneously. Ships that moved with coordinated precision born from countless simulation drills. On the Eternal Dominion, alarm screamed. Sub-Commander Thrace's voice rose in shock. "My lord, contacts. Multiple contacts. 300 human vessels appearing on all vectors. They have us surrounded." Kravash stared at the tactical display, his 6 eyes wide. "Impossible." Intelligence reported 800 total human ships. 20 were here. The rest were scattered across human space. Where did these vessels come from? "They came from our determination to survive." A human voice responded on open channels. Maya had patched through to every Zenithar ship. "You thought you understood humanity, Lord Kravash. You thought you had complete intelligence on our capabilities. You were wrong. Welcome to Proxima. Welcome to the trap." The first human salvo struck with devastating precision. The 300 hidden ships had positioned themselves perfectly. They fired not at the Zenithar armor, which was indeed formidable, but at propulsion systems, sensor arrays, and communication nodes. Railgun rounds traveling at relativistic speeds punched through shields designed to stop energy weapons. Missiles with quantum-entangled guidance systems ignored electronic countermeasures. Plasma torpedoes that burned hot enough to melt through hull plating. The Battle of Proxima. The Zenithar fleet tried to respond with their overwhelming firepower, but their formation had been optimized for intimidation, not combat against an equal force. Their ships were too close together. Their overlapping shields interfered with each other. Their weapons arcs blocked by their own vessels. Kravash screamed orders, trying to restore order to his fleet. "All ships break formation. Establish combat spacing. Target the nearest human vessels." But the humans did not fight the way the Zenithar expected. They did not engage in direct ship-to-ship combat. Instead, they swarmed. Small groups of human ships worked in perfect coordination, targeting single Zenithar vessels with concentrated fire. The moment a Zenithar ship's shields collapsed, the humans shifted targets. They used the asteroids and moons for cover, popping out to fire and disappearing before return fire could connect. They launched drones that mimicked ship signatures, drawing Zenithar fire while real ships maneuvered for kill shots. Every tactic was designed around mobility, precision, and exploiting enemy weaknesses. Maya coordinated the battle from Defiance's bridge. Her tactical display showed the entire engagement. 300 friendly ships marked in blue, 500 enemy ships in red. The red icons were blinking out one by one. Target Zenithar cruiser Delta 7. All nearby units concentrate fire on propulsion. Lieutenant Commander Jackson relayed orders. 3 human destroyers converged on the designated target, their railguns hammering the cruiser's engine section. The massive Zenithar ship lurched as its drives failed. Dead in space, it was no longer a threat. Krevish watched his fleet being systematically dismantled. In 15 minutes of combat, he had lost 40 ships, not destroyed but crippled and drifting. The humans were not trying to kill his crews. They were neutralizing his military capability while minimizing casualties. It was a level of precision the Zenithar had never encountered. These humans fought like they had been doing this for centuries, not decades. Sub-Commander Thrace, order a general retreat. We must withdraw and regroup. Thrace worked his controls frantically. My lord, they are jamming our long-range communications. Individual ships can receive retreat orders, but we cannot coordinate a fleet-wide withdrawal. Then send the order ship to ship. Krevish roared. We must escape this trap. But the humans had anticipated that too. Every time a Zenithar vessel tried to break away from the engagement, human ships moved to intercept. Not to destroy, but to herd. They pushed the Zenithar fleet into tighter and tighter formations, making them easier targets for continued bombardment. The battle that Krevish had expected to win in hours had turned into a nightmare in minutes. The tribunal watches light years away. In the Galactic Tribunal chamber, thousands of beings watched the battle unfold through long-range sensors and quantum-entangled observation platforms. The holographic display at the center of the amphitheater showed the engagement in real time. The Arbiter's presence filled the space, its consciousness processing the tactical data with growing concern. The humans are winning. This should not be possible. A younger species should not possess this level of military capability. Other voices joined the observation. The Luminar Collective chimed in crystalline tones. They have been hiding their true fleet strength. Deceiving the tribunal is a grave offense. The Whisperer's gaseous form rippled with agitation. They fight with coordination that suggests artificial intelligence augmentation. How have they developed such advanced AI without our knowledge? More species added their concerns, their fear. The comfortable order of the galaxy was being challenged. A younger race was defying the elder species and winning, but not all voices expressed concern. From the upper tiers, a being that had remained silent during humanity's judgment now spoke. The architects were an ancient race even by tribunal standards. They had been exploring the galaxy when the Zenithar Empire was still confined to a single world. Their representative, an entity of pure thought housed in a crystalline matrix, pulsed with what might have been amusement. The humans are doing what all successful species eventually do. They are refusing to be controlled. Perhaps it is time the tribunal remembered that power is not granted by age alone. It must be earned continually. The Arbiter's presence turned toward the architect. You speak of allowing chaos. The order we have maintained for 1,000,000 years, the architect interrupted, has grown stagnant. Look at this battle. The Zenithar have not adapted their tactics in 10,000 years. Why would they? No one has challenged them. The humans, barely a century in space, are innovating in real time. This is what evolution looks like, Arbiter. The galaxy is changing, whether we approve or not. Humanity's message at Proxima, the battle reached its conclusion. Of the 500 Zenithar ships that had entered the system, 420 were disabled, drifting in orbit with their propulsion destroyed and their weapons offline. 60 had managed to escape into faster-than-light travel, fleeing back toward tribunal space. 20 had been destroyed despite human efforts to minimize casualties, lost when their reactors overloaded or their life support failed. The human fleet had lost 8 ships with another 15 damaged but repairable. It was a victory beyond anyone's expectations except humanity's own. Maya stood on the bridge of defiance, exhausted but triumphant. Around her, the crew maintained their stations, monitoring the disabled Zenithar vessels and coordinating rescue operations for the survivors. Yes, rescue operations. Despite everything, despite the attempt to conquer their colony, humans were pulling Zenithar crew members from dying ships and providing medical care. It was not mercy born of weakness. It was strength tempered by principle. Maya opened a channel to all ships, both human and Zenithar. This is Captain Rodriguez to all vessels. The battle is over. Zenithar ships, you are defeated but not destroyed. We will provide assistance to your damaged vessels and medical care to your wounded. Your crews will be treated according to interstellar law and return to your territory unharmed. We did not want this war. You brought it to us. But we will not become monsters to defeat monsters." She paused, knowing that every word was being recorded and transmitted back to the tribunal. "Let this be a message to the Galactic Council and to every species watching. Humanity will not submit. We will not abandon our colonies. We will not disarm, but neither will we become conquerors. We seek coexistence, not domination. We seek peace, but we will defend ourselves with every resource we possess. The choice now belongs to the tribunal. Negotiate with us as equals or face us as enemies. But understand this. Today was not luck. Today was preparation. And we have prepared for much more than one battle. The Council's decision. The transmission reached the tribunal within minutes. The amphitheater erupted in chaos. Species that had remained silent during humanity's judgment now demanded to be heard. The Zenithar Empire had been humiliated. Their fleet, the pride of their civilization, had been defeated by a species they had dismissed as primitives. The implications were staggering. If humans could defeat the Zenithar, what other younger species might challenge the established order? How many civilizations had submitted to tribunal authority not because they were weak, but because they believed resistance was impossible? Lord Kravash's transmission from the Eternal Dominion was filled with rage and humiliation. "The humans used deception. They hid ships from our sensors. They violated every protocol of honorable warfare." The Arbiter's response was cold. "You violated human sovereignty by invading their territory. You attempted to subjugate an independent species. The methods they used to defend themselves are irrelevant. You lost because you underestimated them. That failure is yours alone." The tribunal debated for hours. Some species demanded immediate retaliation. Others, seeing the writing on the wall, called for negotiation. A few, like the architects, suggested that perhaps the entire system of tribunal authority needed reevaluation. Finally, the Arbiter made its decision. The tribunal will enter negotiations with humanity. All previous ultimatums are rescinded. Earth will send representatives to discuss the terms of peaceful coexistence. We will meet as equals. The word equals sent shockwaves through the assembled species. For the first time in millions of years, the tribunal was acknowledging a younger race as having equivalent status. It was unprecedented. It was revolutionary. It was necessary. Because the alternative was war, and the tribunal had just watched humanity demonstrate what they could do with a fraction of their full strength. The New Order 6 months later, Captain Maya Rodriguez returned to the Galactic Tribunal. This time she did not stand alone on the platform. President Marcus Chen accompanied her, along with Admiral Sarah Okonkwo and a delegation of Earth's finest diplomats, scientists, and cultural representatives. The amphitheater was packed with beings from across the galaxy, all wanting to witness this historic moment. The Arbiter's presence filled the chamber. Humanity has demonstrated both its military capability and its restraint. You defeated a superior force and then provided aid to your enemies. You have shown that strength and compassion are not mutually exclusive. The tribunal recognizes Earth and all human settlements as sovereign territory. No species may claim jurisdiction over human space without invitation. President Chen stepped forward. "We appreciate the tribunal's recognition, but we ask for more than just sovereignty. We ask that the principles applied to humanity be extended to all younger species. No civilization should be forced to submit to another. No race should be denied the right to grow and develop according to their own nature. The galaxy is vast enough for all of us." The Arbiter was silent for a long moment, processing this request and its implications. "What you propose would fundamentally alter the structure of galactic civilization." Chen nodded. "Yes, it would. But the alternative is stagnation. A million years of order has created complacency. Species stop innovating because they see no need to improve. The galaxy does not grow. It merely maintains. Humanity offers a different path. Competition that drives progress. Cooperation that shares knowledge. A community of equals, not a hierarchy of masters and servants. The debate that followed lasted for days. Species lined up to voice opinions. Some supported the human proposal. Others opposed it violently. But the reality was inescapable. Humanity had changed the equation. They had proven that younger species could challenge the elder races. Other civilizations would follow their example. The choice was between adapting to this new reality or facing endless conflicts. Finally, the tribunal voted. By a narrow margin, they accepted the principle of equal sovereignty for all spacefaring species. The age of enforced hierarchy was over. The age of cooperation between equals had begun. Epilogue Maya stood once again on the observation deck of her ship, looking out at the stars. Earth hung in the distance, that blue marble that had given birth to a species stubborn enough to challenge an entire galaxy. Beside her, Admiral Okonkwo joined her at the window. "We changed everything," the Admiral said quietly. "The galaxy will never be the same." Maya smiled. "That was always the human way, Admiral. We see a system that does not work, and we break it. Then we build something better." "Do you think it will last? The peace, I mean. Will the elder races truly accept us as equals?" Admiral Okonkwo considered the question. "Some will. Others will spend centuries resenting us. There will be conflicts, disagreements, and probably a few more battles before everyone accepts the new order. But yes, I think it will last, because we proved something important at Proxima. We proved that humans will fight for our freedom, but we will not abuse our power. That matters." She paused. "You know what the xenobiologists are saying? They have been studying human psychology, trying to understand what makes us different. They found something interesting." "What's that?" Maya asked. "Most species, when they reach the stars, they have already established a stable civilization. They have one government, one culture, one way of thinking. Humans reach space while still divided, still arguing among ourselves, still developing. That made us adaptable in ways the elder races cannot match. We are used to dealing with different viewpoints, used to compromise and conflict. The galaxy thought that made us weak. It actually made us stronger." Maya thought about that. It made sense. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its diversity, the ability to approach problems from multiple angles, to innovate and adapt. To never accept that this is how things have always been was a good enough reason to maintain the status quo. "So what happens now?" Maya asked. "Now we build," Admiral Okonkwo replied. "We explore, we make friends and probably a few enemies. We push the boundaries of what is possible. We do what humans have always done. We look at the impossible and make it real. And most importantly, we make sure that every species that comes after us has the same chance we fought for, the freedom to determine their own future." The two officers stood in companionable silence watching the stars. Somewhere out there, millions of civilizations were adjusting to the new reality. The Galactic Tribunal would continue to exist, but as a forum for cooperation rather than control. The elder races would have to earn respect rather than demand it. And humanity would stand as proof that youth and determination could triumph over age and complacency. Earth's fury had indeed shaken the stars. The Galactic Council had learned too late that humanity would not be caged. But they had learned, and in learning, they had opened the door to a future brighter than any the galaxy had seen in a million years. A future where every species, young or old, could reach for the stars as equals. A future that humans had fought to create and would defend with everything they had. The age of human expansion had begun. The galaxy would never be the same.